What's up, guys? Working on the motorcycle. Again, I had it all together, put some saddlebags on it, took it for a ride, and well, it was the first ride was great. I had a great time. Cruised for like an hour. It was just awesome. Then later, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take it for a night ride just to test out the lights and stuff. Well, that didn't go so well. Got down to the store, it's like a mile down the road, and then it took a minute to get there. Bought a couple pops, threw them in a saddlebag. Went to take off. Well, I took off, cruising. I'm getting up to speed now. I'm having fun. And then, blah, 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 power dies. So what the crap? Pull over, sit there for a second, just thinking like, I don't know, maybe the stator kicked out. So like, well, I'll just wait and see if it cools down, if that fixes it. Waited, hit the start button, started right up. Said, well, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to the house, because I was gonna go on a big loop, around my house, and take the long way back around. But instead of like 5 minutes, it'd be like 15, 20 minutes, whatever. So, turn around, so I start hauling back the other way. I'm only like another mile from the store on the other way. I'm not even 5 minutes from the house. Get quarter mile up the road, going back the other way. Dies again. Then I smell gas, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what's going on. My little fuel line hose is one of the problems I'm supposed to fix. I can get it on there, but I didn't have the right clamps. I had 2 or 3 different clamps, but just not one that would fit in this spot. It's just super tight. Let me show you actually. It's right there. When you get the hose on there and a clamp, you gotta get a clamp between this, and in there, and it's not easy. So the hose kept popping off because it's kind of older. I went to buy some new hose the other day, but they gave me the wrong stuff, so that didn't quite work out. But I got some other hose over here now that I can use if I need to. And so 2 problems happened. At first, I didn't know it was. I found a leak, and man, it was leaking everywhere. So I got that popped back on, but then my starter button wasn't working. I went to hit the starter button, nothing. And at the time, I didn't know it was happening. I looked at all the connectors looked good. It was dark too, so it wasn't starting. About that time though, dude rode by on I could hear someone ripping it, just whoa, whoa. I thought it was my buddy coming down the road because it came from the same direction. I was like, hell yeah, my buddy's coming down here. He'll stop and we can figure it out. But it wasn't my buddy, it was another dude, but he stopped. And I looked at it for a minute and I didn't want to hold him up, so I was like, yeah, man, it's cool, man, you just take off, I got this, I'll figure it out. Nothing else I can push, it ain't that far. And this ain't a heavy bike, so if there's a big 1500, 1800, man, that would have been a problem. But since it's a little bit lighter, a lot lighter, it would have been manageable. It would have sucked, but it would have been manageable. At least could have got it to the store and left it, and it would have been fine until the morning, you know. But anyway, sorry about that. I'm going on tangents there. I remembered I bought this bike because it had a kickstart just for that reason. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I tried to kickstart it at first, nothing happened, and I forgot I'd shut the valve off on the side real fast while I was trying to plug the hose back on. So I turned it back on, kickstarted it, boom, came to life. I was like, oh, time to go. Dropped it in first and dipped out of there and just hauled ass back to the house as fast as I could. And then came flying up the driveway and hit a couple of the bumps, and as soon as I got to the top of the driveway, died again. Popped the hose back off again. I didn't know that till the next day. I mean, I figured it out as soon as I parked it. I went over and shut it off. But the next day, though, went out there and I seen I broke my panel. When I kicked it, when I kickstarted it, so it's just plastic, and it fucking snapped that panel. So if I ever kickstart again, this whole panel is coming off first. But kickstart, save the day. Kickstart, save the day. Just in case you're wondering. So I'm gonna get me a keychain that says kickstart, save lives. But right now I'm working on, one problem I had is my carb is not fitting up to the box all the way. It's got like a 1/4 inch gap. So I printed this up hoping it would work, but my issue is on this new carb, this barrel here is a little bit wider, and for one, so even with this is not sliding into the rubber boot on this. I can easily take and do this, which would work, but I like the box with the filter in there. So I'm gonna try. I'm working on printing up a piece for this. Speaking of, let me show you what piece I made. I'm printing up a piece for this, and I made another piece for my wife's car. And we've been doing some work on the Blazer too. I've been working on a lot of stuff. Golf cart over there. This Blazer here I worked on a little while ago. I don't know if I posted it yet. Working on that one still. Got it all back together, and then had some issues with it running ridge. And realized that the new fuel injectors I bought, the Chinese, Amazon ones, they're not good. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. Well, you get a good deal on all of them, but it's all a bunch of junk. So that's what I got to fix next, is new injectors for the 2016. We did the AFM lifters on the left side, on the passenger side, and it got a new high pressure fuel pump and a couple other things. So I'm about to change the oil again. I just changed the oil, but we're just dumping gas after I changed the oil. I have to change it again, so that sucks, but it's alright. We came out here and we started this guy up for a little bit. He's happy. I need to cover him back up. We fought one with a wasp nest in there. It stung me. That was not cool, but it barely got me. It still hurt, but it barely got me. I did some rebuilding, as our friends at Vice Grip Garage would call it. Made the frame look a little prettier there. Didn't really clean nothing. I just painted it, and it just looks 1,000 times better. It's flat black. It worked out pretty good. So this guy started up, but for some reason my new fuel pump was not pulling out of the can. So figure out that. Hopefully that guy didn't just die from sitting a couple months. That'd be lame. And then my breather I got at the car show was not the right one. I think I can make it work though. I could probably print a part with that and get that to fit in there. I have to pull that one out, and I just don't feel like pulling it out right now. I guess I could maybe work on that later. Anyway, I'm going to show you the part I was want to show you. This video's going to be too long for Facebook. Built a 2-inch riser for the top of this, 3 inches wide, with a chamfered round top. Let me see. I'll just show you the top real quick. This would be good for YouTube, but maybe not for Facebook. Printed this guy. That line you see there, that's just where my son turned off the printer, and I had to turn it back on and say the power went out. I chamfer it round to the top. That way it would go smooth in there. It's got a little bit of a curved dip in there. I don't know if you can see it. So that raises that up. Like before, it sat on there like that, so all sideways, and didn't want to sit flush. And that's going to make me use 2 hands to do this. Yeah, I might print this piece too. I don't know if I'll make a block off passage or I'll probably just leave it alone. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. But unless I want to hook up a vent to there or something. Could do that too. But this guy started up and ran. This guy chugged a life. He barely hit on the right on the first turn of the key. He barely hit. He said, not tapping, but just chugging along. It sounded like a little train run. It's pretty good. But anyway, that's what we're doing this morning. We're just printing parts and trying to get stuff wired and put back together. We got the we also got the fuel tank sealer. I'm draining the tank because it's got on the bottom of this plate, gas tank here. Let me show you. Under this plate right here, there is a leak on the left side right there. We'll see where the green paint is a little bit. I thought it was coming from a fuel sending unit, so I RTV'd it. Definitely not. It's definitely under the plate. So I gotta drain this gas tank, and then we're gonna let it air dry in the hot 95-degree weather today, and make sure it's all good. Well, I just cleaned it not too long ago, so I guess you guys saw that. We're gonna throw this in there, swish it around, pour it back in here, so, and then swish it around again, pour it back in here. Probably do it 3 or 4 times. You know, I see where the gas kind of got my can, the seat's rubbing. When it's all together though, it doesn't matter. It's just a rough paint job. And it's fun. Oh, and side note on this cover, on eBay, the last one for sale, $20, bought it, it's on the way, so I have a new cover coming. Because I probably could fix that, but it'd be hell of a time, so just went ahead and bought the last used one they had. And then next time we're just taking the whole cover off, stick it in the saddlebag, and then we'll kickstart it. Not worry about it. If you have these bikes, you just need an 8 mil, 10 mil, 12 mil, 13 mil. You pretty much can do most stuff on this bike. And a set of Allen wrenches. You're going to need those. Alright guys, I'm going to hop off here. See you later. Alright, so replacing this connector the one that kept coming loose even though it was new. And this end, I already did one side. Right, here we go. New connector in. I'm going to do a new connector in, and then I'm going to do a new connector in on this one too because the other side's broke. It's for the gas tank. And then we'll come back and see what we got afterwards, but it's too hard for me to film right now and try to show you just boring wiring, so I'll just show you it connected in a minute and we'll be back. Alright guys, I got one on there already, nice and waterproof and better than it was originally, really. And then I soldered these on because they're just kind of weird crimping, and my crimper does not work on these, so I had to just bend them over and solder them on like a professional connection. So we won't have any more loss of power and starter and all that jazz. And then I'm going to do this one too here in a little bit. I'm going to go drink some coffee, eat some breakfast, and come back and we'll... Because that one on my tank side is bad. I really ain't had any problem of it, but I'm just going to fix it anyway. That way everything's good. And we'll be back. Actually, we'll just record this real quick. This last little part. Record through on this one. Gotta put these rubber seals on all the way to the back first. And do this on my truck too. Change out a couple connectors. Like a single wire, really. Change out the water gauge. Alright, this is going to be So I need yellow on the right. I think it's yellow on the right, green on the left. If not, we'll switch it. Slide right in here. But if they don't, there's the key in. We'll push. I'm going to go in there. Pull back a little bit. Use a small one. Use a rubber gasket in there. There we go. Now we got a new connector that's not going to pop off. Okay, so like the 7th attempt at prototyping an adapter to reduce down to fit into this and clear our, so we can not have a massive air leak. We got this. It took me all day to get my printer fixed and get everything working right. So we got this in. I still got to put a hose on there and the clip, but we got our grommets in our side thing, so our cover is nice and secure now. Waiting on this cover. I got to find this lid, whatever I did with it. I think it's in here maybe. Yep. So now we'll have this sealed off from outside air, whatever we're doing there. Okay, so put that back. Nope. No, she's not. She might be in the garden feeding chickens. Did you check there? And over here, we're filling the tank with Pour 15. I spilled some, but this stuff looks to be pretty good. The tank was kind of rusty looking in there. I cleaned the tank once with some other stuff, but using this to seal it, do the bore scope in there, looking around to see the spot that I'm trying to seal is covered. So it says every 30 minutes come back around, move it around. So I guess it dries up on one layer and you gotta rotate and coat again. So I rotate it in the whole circle, upside down, everything. But my leak's on this bottom corner, so underneath, I'll show you. You can see where I put a little plastic grommet in there. But right here where the paint looks, right there is where it's leaking. I thought it was leaking. You can see this little line coming off the edge of the gas gauge there. So I thought it was leaking down, hitting this, walking over, and then hitting the edge and dripping. Not the case. It's under this mountain here somewhere. So if I want to fix it the right way, I'll have to cut all this off. So if this don't work, I guess I'm doing that next. But I put this gasket sealer on this fuel sending unit, and it may be messing me up there because now my gas gauge doesn't read, and it was. So it may not be grounding out. So I'll put it back together one more time after this is all sealed. Hopefully. There's our new connectors. Put some new connectors on there, broken, popping off and killing the engine when I was riding. Plus, I didn't have to worry about things popping out and hitting other stuff and sparking. Let's go in here and show you this. I cleaned up some of my wiring, this wiring that was hanging down and was laying under the area where the leak was, so we pulled it all back away from that area. Little grommet kit if you need one for yours. This works great. And then I bought this for my truck a long time ago, but I used it on the motorcycle first, it seems like. This is a nice little connector kit, pretty nice. I like these kits. And then here's the clamps we needed. These little ring style tiny ones. Them other ones will not fit. So got an assortment, so I can try to find the right one that's going to work best. I like those little boxes. Can you see? And then when they're empty, they make great tackle boxes. But here we go. Just give it a little pull there, a little pull here. This one's a little tighter. Oh, pulled it out. That's what happened with the other one. Popped it right out of there, but that's alright. Squeeze it back in. Happy 4th of July, people. Working on the bike. Don't get to ride it today, but we're working on it. Getting closer. I got my light bulbs in, but they were the wrong ones. I don't know, the pictures didn't look right. The pictures look like the smaller bulbs, so I got the regular car marker turn signals instead of the mini ones. Even though I typed in the exact size and everything, and it looked right in the picture, it wasn't right. But so there's a new connector here that was the one that was coming apart, killing the engine. It was this one, even though it looked brand new on these little pieces here. Like this piece was brand new, and it just kept sliding out because of this piece. I bend it back, and it would just slowly make its way back down. So we'll just eliminate that issue. Then tucking the wires up because they were all down here, just hanging around underneath this. So when this leaked, it's all falling on the wires. And then my turn signal issue was because I forgot to, well, it looks like I about forgot to do it again. These wires hanging down, so I gotta get them put up there the right way. I don't know how that popped back down. Probably because I worked on it afterwards. But anyway, so that's where we're at with the motorcycle for right now. I gotta wait 96 hours on the gas tank to cure. So I got 96 hours to keep tinkering on stuff to get it lined out. So this video probably won't be done till next week. But here we are. The runs, the drives is just buttoning up stuff. I'm gonna put this cover on and call that done. Alright, see you guys.